If you've ever read The Hunger Games and thought,
wow, this book is really good. Too good. I wish there was a book similar to this, but actually so much worse.
Powerless is set in a kingdom called Elia. In Elia, there was a plague which left the population either powerful or powerless. Powerless people are called ordinaries, and they are seen as a threat to the elite. So the king decides that they should all be eliminated, if you know what I mean. This was a dual point of view story. I've said dual so many times now, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Because what's more fun than having one annoying character? It's having two! So we had Payden as our first main character, who is an ordinary. She pretends to be a psychic and gets away with it. Everyone in this kingdom must be really stupid because she just observes people. She's like, this person has mud on their shoes. They must have stepped in some mud. And everyone's like,
she's really good.
Payden lives with her best friend, Adina, who she loves and cares for. And the two of them try to look after each other. Payden does this by stealing from people and Adina makes clothes. One day, Payden steals from a guy who turns out to be the scary, terrifying future enforcer, Prince Kai. Prince Kai is the second son of a king, and he is our second main character. Kai's job is to get rid of ordinaries, and instead of exterminating them as he's supposed to, he just kindly forces them out of their homes and into the desert because kindness. So after getting rid of some ordinaries, Kai is robbed by Payden and then he gets attacked. The person that attacks Kai is a silencer, which means he can stop other powers from working. Silencers and other fatal abilities are also banned from the kingdom.
Yep, you're banned.
Kai is left helpless, but Payden manages to save him. The main event of this story is the trials, to showcase the elite's powers, and it is held in celebration of the Great Purging. But it makes no sense, because why not just celebrate with a party or something? The elites in this kingdom really need to use their heads, because why are you willing to participate in a series of events where you can and are expected to die? For no reason though, because the only reason they're held is to celebrate the purging. What? Does that make sense? Because it doesn't to me. Payden is selected for the trials. This year trials are said to be different since the future enforcer Kai is participating, which also makes no sense to me, but I'm not going to get into it because I think it's going to make me really mad. Payden gets sent to the castle where she'll be staying during the trials, and she meets Kai's brother Kit, who's the future king. There's also Jax, who is their adopted brother, but unfortunately he suffers from side character who's only needed for comedic relief or in times where he's in great pain and someone has to save him syndrome. All of the contestants for the trials are interviewed in front of the people of Elia, and Payden's all like, I need to impress these people and play the part. Which is great, except that doesn't really matter because all you have to do is just win the trials. I don't think the people's opinion ever mattered in the book. There is a ball before the beginning of the first trial, and Kit asks Payden to be his date. Payden needs a dress for the ball, and luckily she remembers that she has a best friend that she totally forgot about who makes clothes. So Adina is brought to the castle and she lives there now. Payden shows up to the ball in a silver dress, which is so unique, so different. All the other girls are wearing green, which is the kingdom's colour. And then the first trial starts. Okay, so in the first trial, the contestants are left in a forest for a week to fend for themselves, and each of them has a band, and the contestant who collects the most bands at the end wins. Now, I don't see why anyone would need to be in this task. I feel like you could probably fight over the band and take it without having to really hurt someone, but apparently I'm wrong. Payden gets attacked by an illusionist called Ace. She manages to hurt him using her bow and arrow, but she's injured, and she's trying to find water, which leads her to Kai. The two of them partner up and get to know each other. They dance and flirt and stay at their camp until another contestant, Sadie, shows up.
Hi there.
Sadie ends up Hayden is in shock. She can't believe that they just had to end someone's life. She's going through it. She's like, these trials are insane. What is going on? But Kai calms her down by reminding her to focus on important and distracting things like his dimples and how attractive he is. And it works because both of these guys are idiots. If I was Sadie, I would force myself back to life and would hope I die a more honorable death, because imagine just laying there and listening to these two talk about how attractive they are. Like, are you serious right now? After the first trial, Payton discovers the Resistance, which is a group of ordinaries and fatals, and she finds out that her dad was one of the founding members of the Resistance, and that's why he was eliminated. The members of the Resistance ask Payton to help them by finding a secret tunnel into the castle that only Kit knows about, and since he likes Payton, she can take advantage of him and find the tunnel. So now we have this weird love triangle, except not really, since it's quite obvious that Payton and Kai like each other and Kit's just there. Trial 2 begins. The contestants are split into 2 teams and forced to work together to climb up a mountain. At the top there's a flag, and first one to grab the flag wins. Again, this could have been done without having to eliminate anyone, but apparently not. Payton goes straight for ace, but then lets Kai do the honors of ending him, and then she grabs the flag and wins.
You won, Jane.
Oh my god.
Enjoy the money. I hope it makes you very happy. Dear Lord, what a sad little life, Jane. All the grace of a reversing dump truck without any tyres on.
I don't get it.
Well, you wouldn't, let's be honest. There's nobody in there, love.
Kit and Payton end up sneaking out, and he shows her one of the secret entrances and reveals he's the only one with a key to it. Then there's another ball before the final trial. Payton manages to get the key from Kit and give it to someone in the Resistance. And now it's the final trial. The final trial is just literally the maze from Harry Potter. It moves around and you have to try to get to the middle. Payton goes back and forth on whether she wants to live or not. Like, she had no problem fighting off a bunch of people to live, but as soon as the maze starts closing in around her, she's like, okay, I guess this is how it ends. A contestant named Blair shows up who's just been fighting with Payton this entire time because she wants Kai and Kit, and she can't have them because Payton has them. They fight. Of course, Payton wins. Why wouldn't she, even though she has no powers and Blair is very powerful? Payton wins. Payton then makes it to the center of the maze, only to find Adina there. And in order to win the final challenge, she must end Adina's life. Obviously, she doesn't want to do that, but Blair does. And Blair wins that final challenge. Unfortunately, the Resistance shows up and they ruin Blair's moment. They capture the royal family, and Kit realizes Payton was the one who betrayed him. Then a fight breaks out, and instead of fighting for either side, Payton runs back to the castle to put on a green vest, because that was Adina's final wish, that Payton wears this green vest. She also has someone heal her leg, and then she knocks that person out. Payton ends up running into the king, who tells her that Kai was the one who ended her father's life. Payton is in shock because obviously the fact that Kai was known for being a ruthless killer didn't bother her very much until it turns out her dad was one of his victims. The king and Payton have their final boss battle, and even though his power is literally strength, she manages to drive a sword through his chest. Payton runs into Kai, but he lets her escape and she's gone.